Hello, welcome to episode 13 of Shit I Make My Family Watch, a podcast where I make my family and friends watch crappy horror movies so you don't have to. I'm your host, Desiree, and joining me today is horror author Dan Schrader. Hello, Dan.
Hey, I'm on episode 13.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, it's
awesome.
lucky number 13. I didn't even
Yeah.
realize that. We're going to break down today's movie as best we can, but it's a struggle. And then we're going to rate it on the shit scale of 1 to 5. 1 is only a little bit shitty. You'd probably watch it again if it was on Sci-Fi Channel. 5 is the worst dung heap ever, like biggest elephant turd to exist. So today's is 2022 Reed's Point. And I don't think anybody's going to want to watch this one, so we're just going to jump right in.
Yeah.
What is your immediate thought on this delight picked? Yeah.
Oh, I want an hour and 17 minutes of my fucking life back.
I think it was, yeah, it was that short, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was an hour and like 17, 20 minutes. Either way, it was so bad on so many levels. Oh man. Like,
have you
from
ever
the first
seen
5 seconds?
I had a little bit of hope. It felt like a cheesy college-made movie, but I've never seen another movie about the Jersey Devil.
I haven't seen many, no. So
I can't think of another one.
And that's why I was surprised they couldn't decide what they were doing. But they wanted to go, I was like, man, you're with it. All right, so
they could have, yeah.
From the beginning, it's so bad. Like their dad, they're gonna get an RV. They just graduated apparently, and then they're gonna go on this trip with their dad and cross through Reed's Point. But anyways, he comes out and he's not even mad. Did you kind of get that? And then she's like, "Oh, your dad's mad," and like,
yeah,
being on time.
I also didn't understand what he had to entertain some high rolling clients in his RV.
Yeah, never gets talked
I have never heard of that.
No.
That seemed like a weird, and it had like a hostess. Don't worry about the dogs. I got 2 of them scraping in here.
Yeah.
Oh, it's friendly. Yeah, so they jump in this RV and they're talking about their dad's high-rolling client, and then you hear him go in the back and say that he's not going to jump into whatever deal is going to happen, some sort of land deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then pretty quickly...
There's a feud between these two families that come out later, and it doesn't really make any sense.
No.
Because it's just mentioned, and then it's almost like the whole feud with the families thing was an afterthought. Like they were already in production and it was going, and they're like, we got to add this. The producers were like, we need to add this whole family element, like the Hatfield McCoys.
You did see it mentioned in the beginning when it was flashing the titles and it had newspaper articles.
Yeah.
I don't know if those were real newspaper articles that they were copying or if these were made up, but it did mention the two families feuding, but it didn't really say what it was about. So either they're referencing an actual historical feud, which would be cool if they went with that, but they chose to take a little bit of everything, like they were grocery shopping and came out with nothing.
Everything in the kitchen sink. I was actually, and usually I kind of get like the deeper endings of, like some movies where people are like, oh man, like that sucked. Like, what did even that mean? And I'm like, oh yeah, it was good. But this one, it just did not get executed well at all.
It didn't have a deeper meaning. Like we could assign some to it if they had picked one avenue.
Yeah.
For this. But, yeah, I really tried. I was enjoying it sort of as much as I can enjoy shitty movies because there's a reason I do this. Like I do love them a little until they got to probably about 20 minutes away from the end. And then it just all fell apart. And I was like, I don't even know what happened.
It all happened so fast. It really did. I don't even know where to begin with how this is such a big piece of shit. It's hard to cover all of it.
It's really bad.
Like the wreck,
I turned it on.
The wreck is hilarious because it's just a shaky camera and people are like, oh, and you never
see. It didn't even bother me that much. I think the the acting was more distracting to me, especially the main character. Like,
oh yeah,
that's why I told you, and it's terrible. But I felt like she was a charity. You know, we have to make this movie, and like her dad knew big people who were like B-list actors who could be in the sides for.
But they got who is it? Joe Estevez does like voiceover work in it. It's
Really?
Martin Sheen's brother.
Oh, what was the voiceover?
I don't know, because it's had him as a character, and I was like, I don't know who this character is, but I don't know. I've just, because I like to watch movies and I'll look them up. There's like not even a Wikipedia page.
No, there's not.
And
I'm finding that.
Yeah, it's his brother. He does a lot of voiceover stuff. So I don't know. If I had to say there was any good character in it, was probably Hank.
Was that the guy with the gun? The guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was my favorite. He made the whole, up until that point, the movie was watchable, I felt, because of the sideline characters. Well, back to the stupid summary. So they get in the RV. The guy who's driving gets distracted, almost hits a deer, rolls the RV, and everybody's thrown out of the RV. And then the main character, I really got to start writing down people's names. Whatever. Main character girl sees her cousin get dragged off. Mira?
Sarah?
Sure. Short hair girl.
Who didn't have short hair until after the fact.
Well, it was a really good wig.
Yeah, like it's like she went through a early midlife crisis. Like this whole event just traumatized the living shit out of her.
Well, I mean, she watched something drag her cousin away, and then a year later, she's working on a newspaper article about her family's RV wreck in the Jersey Devil. And so the survivors are her and her cousin's boyfriend.
Yeah, Alex.
And they're working on an article, decide to go back.
There's so much sexual tension there.
It was so uncomfortable and awkward because they're like, they're teenagers. Yeah.
And at first I was like, oh, they're gonna be dating now and fucking or something. But then he's like, look, this is the last text she sent me, and I haven't deleted it. I was like, all right, well maybe he still keeps it and they fuck. Who knows? But no, like there's no nudity or anything in it. There's no kissing, I don't think.
There is one, the big one towards the end where he tries to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, you'll get to that part because you get the ending. Didn't you pick second half?
Yeah.
Haha. So they go back and they go to a restaurant aptly named, what's it, the Devil's Cafe, with little advertisements for deviled eggs everywhere, which I thought was kind of clever.
That was cool.
And then trying to get someone to answer their questions, take them into the Pine Barrens to the place where the RV crashed, which if it drove off of a road, it shouldn't be that hard to find. So I don't know why they kept asking for a guide, because the RV had to come off the road. Like, why do you need a guide?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, was that they're asking, like, we don't know how to get out there. I'm like, it was on a road. Unless you rolled down a hill, but they didn't have it in the budget to show a big wreck, I guess. So kind of left.
I'm not familiar with the geography of wherever the Pine Barrens are. I know it's East Coast. But I would assume that if you're on the road, you're not in the Pine Barrens.
No, unless I'm assuming they rolled. It went off the road, but I don't.
What, they rolled 2 miles? Like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like an RV. But the driver got out, I remember, and he said, I pulled everybody out I could. I think everybody's dead.
Yeah, and so she's saying that her and her cousin's boyfriend are the only 2 survivors, but that guy pulled them all out and was clearly alive. And then you'd think she's dreaming when you see the creature attack him, because they only ever talk about that creature taking her cousin away.
Yeah, so what happened to his arm? If anything, it took his arm.
Oh, you're right. That part was cool.
Yeah. It took his arm, but I'm assuming yeah, and then she wakes up like it's a dream.
Well, we just found another plot hole. Yeah. So they get out there. They meet a really fun guide. I like his mustache. He's entertaining to watch. He is the only entertaining thing probably in the entire movie.
Yeah.
He's got lots of quirky one-liners. And then for some reason or another, redhead kid starts panicking and running around in like a circle.
Yeah,
and then
on the tree.
Oh, is that? It didn't even look like a carcass. I thought it was just fur.
It was like spread out, like someone skinned something and put it up. He was like, "We gotta go." He lost it. Yeah, he lost his shit way too fast. Like he pussed out big time, like quick.
Yeah. So he's running around a circle, and then she's like, "Watch out for your bad leg," and you're like, what? He's not even limping. What are you talking about? Yeah. And then he slides down the hill and gets his leg stuck in a tree and breaks it.
I think it's funny because the whole time he came along because he didn't want her to go by herself, because you need a man. And he was the one that got scared the most, the one that got fucked his shit up first.
He was annoying.
Yeah.
So what? He got caught in the tree. They couldn't get his leg out, and the guide says, "I'm gonna go get a saw out of my truck. It's half an hour away," and then leaves them there.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna get like an electric DeWalt or something. He meant a real saw.
Well, why? I don't understand how that would even be possible to get. I guess they never really showed it clearly. How do you get your leg in there like that you can't get it back out?
Well, I think Hank, he goes, "I don't know how you got it stuck in here like this, but it is." That's what
said. Okay. The end of that one.
Yeah, because I like in there, it's like wedged in there, and then like his bones snapped out. So
also, he was not nearly in enough acting pain for that. Like,
no,
he should have been sweating, throwing up.
Yeah, he had the whining part down.
Yeah. So what's his name? Hank, you said, goes back to the truck in theory, but then it's dark all of a sudden, and it's been a long time. And then the girl's like, "I'm going to go find him myself and leave you here alone instead of waiting." And
he's like, "No, you can't. I don't want you going out there alone."
And it was literally like 10 minutes after she left, the other guy comes back and is like, "Well, where'd she go?"
Yeah. And she walked like maybe 5 minutes and found a house. A real nice house.
Yeah.
Out in the middle of
That's
nowhere.
what I was thinking too. It's supposed to be in the middle of these woods, and there's just like brick, a nice brick place in there with some young, handsome man answering the door, more than willing to help her, let her in, give her some tea.
There's something fishy right away. And then she goes in and he looks and then closes the door. Bitch, you lived there forever. 10 years, he said. You're not going to fucking look around. Like, And
he knows everybody in the woods.
Yeah, he knows everybody.
Except
he's like the only motherfucker with teeth around there, probably. He had a full, he had all his teeth.
He didn't look like a woods-dwelling guy.
Actually, all those people had their teeth. Even the crazy man that was warning them about the thing, he actually looked well put together. Like, he looked like he just...
I forgot about the crazy guy.
Like, he looked like he just got fucked by the stock market like last week and just lost his shit. Like, he still had it all together.
He's just out at the restaurant, just giving people a hard time. That's when it all kind of went fuzzy for me, is when they started to like split and then go back and forth. So I know that she's in the house with this gentleman and she keeps hearing a tapping.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I'm not sure if this is when she comes back or in the same scene. I might be missing a chunk here.
Because they leave to go find Alex and he's gone because Hank got him out, and then they go, come up to my house. Because everybody, even Hank says when he gets him out, he's like, "Well, we ain't doing that tonight. We got to get out of these woods."
Right. And then, oh God. So then they go back.
Yeah.
And is that when she finds her cousin in the room?
Yeah. And the outfit.
Down in the basement. It's like a basement and it has like a weird, almost looks like a gate for outside your yard, like a garden gate.
But wasn't there was a vault door there first, and then it never shows it again.
But she just pulled it open.
Yeah, she just opened it right up.
Didn't have to turn.
I don't know how she got in there. How did she get in there and then...
I thought she took his keys.
Maybe.
Or it opens from the outside, maybe.
Maybe. It
And
opens
then
from the outside.
she sees her cousin there banging on the wall with a rock.
Yeah.
And she's got, I don't know, she's wearing a weird dress and she's very like haunted doll-esque. And then I'm going to let you take over, buddy.
Well, Alex goes back to the diner, the Devil's Diner, with Hank.
Devil's Cafe.
Yeah, instead of going to the hospital or anything right away. And then he's like, "Oh, you got any whiskey?" And he gives him whiskey. They try and make phone calls to the sheriff. And you already know something's up. And then he passes out because he put something in his liquor. And then a lady comes in, apparently owns the diner. And I think she was one of the waitresses. Not the,
yes, she's the one who connected them with him in the first place.
Yeah, with him in the first place. Which is weird because later on, like, you know, you don't understand what their point is. Because I thought whenever this time she was like, "Why? How'd you lose the girl?" And he's like, "Don't worry, he hasn't." And I'm like, "Oh, so they're gonna get these two, and like, I bet you the town's in on it, or a group of people, and they got to sacrifice them to the Jersey Devil."
That's what I was thinking.
Alone, you know. But now it goes to she gets in there, finds her cousin. Her cousin says, "I don't remember anything. I don't remember anything after the crash," and then thinks that dude's her brother and that he saved her. And then she's like, "I can't leave. He takes care of me." And she's like, "You have to help me," or something. And then all of a sudden she's like, "All right, I'll help you." And then they call him down there. She hits him in the back of the head. Like, she's been abducted by him and kept with him for a year. And then she just all of a sudden decides to hit him in the back of the head, help a girl that she can't remember. And then
who offers no proof.
Actually, they don't even run. They like just casually walk through the house and out the house. And then she's like, "Why? I can't go. This is my home." Her cousin's like, "Yes, you do." And she's like, "No, I can't. He's my brother." She's like, "Damn it, I just told you he wasn't. I'm your cousin." And then she goes, "Okay," and then goes back in.
Yeah, like, and I have to say, from that point in the movie, is there was a lot of hitting each other over the head with things.
Oh,
like,
yeah, there was
zero
punches.
Violence to like guns and bars, and
it was a lot of one hit, not like a lot of KOs, because Alex he said he had a puke and he was sick, so he opened the back. Hank and that one girl did, and they're like, "You better not puke in here," and he kicks him in the nuts and he starts hobbling away. And then
like he's gonna
he goes after he goes after him. They knock him out, and then it's just so much stupid like getting knocked out happening, because Sarah, she gets away to the point, and then all of a sudden Hank's there. He comes out of nowhere because they just got there, so it skips to that. He knocks her out with the butt of the rifle, and then they're like passed out in the house. And I have to say, like, when you're in the house, it's like really nice. And then they have clutter everywhere. They have clutter everywhere. The clutter looks really nice. Like it is
nice stuff. It's like a hoarder who'd only just started realizing they could hoard things in rooms. And so they just sort of like pile things haphazardly. You can tell whoever designed this has never actually seen a hoarder's house.
Oh no.
Lucky them.
Not like old shitty paper and like there's like
brand new shit piled.
Stuff. It was like a bunch of totes and stuff. Like he was moving.
Or it's like they filmed it in a like a storage facility or something. Yeah. I was trying to figure out what was the point of having all of that clutter in every single scene. It was like distracting.
It was, because I was trying to look and see what they had.
You're looking for clues.
Yeah, for maybe
point.
I figured they'd have like newspaper clippings up somewhere, like kind of like those people. But yeah, Eric, he owns the house, so apparently he's not related to him, right? That's what I got from it. He's not related to him.
He said they made me help them, but I thought that maybe he was related to him. So the family feud is supposed to be between the Reeds and the Franklins,
and the Reeds Hank and that girl. The Reeds are the girl,
the other two,
girl and the girl. Yeah, because they're cousins. And then Eric is supposed to be, because he said, "I've lived out here for 10 years." And he's, "Oh yeah, the woods aren't a place for you." She's like, "Well, you live out here." And he's like, "Oh, I've studied the Jersey Devil for 10 years. And then he has the outfit, and it makes you like, "Oh, well, they're all acting like that." And then they're talking about killing the 2 girls, killing them all, and like getting rid of them tonight, and making it look like the Jersey Devil did it. The cops will believe it.
For what though?
Yeah,
that's what I couldn't figure out. Like, what were they trying to gain out of that?
Yeah, that's the thing too. Is if they wanted, they kept her for a year, why didn't they just kill her? And then, if it's this big family feud, a deer coming out in the road, I mean, that's not really like planned, like, you know, ambush strategy. Like, I figured there'd be like spikes in the road or something to kind of give you a hint, but
maybe they dressed up as the deer.
Yeah, it had to be. There's so many plot holes in it; it's just insane. So.
Well, and it got very escalated at the end, where it was like the last 5 to 10 minutes was like, and you were like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, somehow Eric leaves because which is weird because they're like, "All right, we'll get it. You guys get it done." She's like, "I'm heading back." The lady, she's like, "I'm gonna head back to the diner or something." I don't know. Like she's gonna make deviled eggs for the next day, and fucking. She walks out, and then all of a sudden, shit just breaks off, and they get out of the room. Well, they didn't have them tied up in a fucking room. They were just up in a room laying down. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, so does Alex, apparently the girl's missing. So the guy, Alex, he goes outside, runs into her. They start into a scuffle. He gets shot by Hank. Doesn't he? It happens so fast.
He gets, I think he gets shot by the woman because she was mad.
Yeah. She shoots him. She gets knocked out by the girl, not Sarah, the other girl, the cousin.
The redhead one or the
redhead one.
Okay.
It's so confusing because she was not gonna. Yeah, because all right, wait. He goes outside. He sees her. He kisses her. Right.
Yeah, that was like his one passionate moment. Yeah, I was like, he's really getting into it.
And she's like, "Ooh, who are you?" And then won't help him. And the girl, the diner lady, comes out, attacks him. He gets shot. Then Sarah comes out there, knocks the diner girl out, gets her handgun. Hank comes out, and then he's like, "You ain't gonna do it." And then she shoots him and shoots him again. Yeah, and then they're all getting ready to leave. Alex is dying, and then all of a sudden, the redheaded girl who has amnesia remembers who he is. Again, she goes in these like I remember and I don't moments all the time. And then they get ready to leave. The diner girl wakes up, comes at her, and she points the gun at her, and she's like, "You won't do it." And she shoots her, and she goes, "I did." And then they run off. And I was like, wait. She just shot your boy Hank like twice, and you're gonna get up out of your real quick coma to tell her she didn't have the balls to do it. She did it, and then it's like a run through the woods, and
then it was like a totally different. Yeah, no, she starts wandering out like chanting something. I don't even remember what it was.
Yeah, they go through the woods, and then the Jersey Devil, which is obviously Eric, is coming after them. But then
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden she's like, "Well, wait, I'm gonna wait to get to this little clearing to turn around and pull my gun on him." And when she does, he comes out with his mask off, and he's like, "Hey, they put me up to it and all this." And then the redhead is like, "So you're not my brother?" He's like, "No." So she takes the gun from her cousin, and then she shoots his ass. And then
I like how they're all proficient in firearms.
Oh yeah, especially her. Never shot a gun before, or anything, and she's holding one-handed, and she's just popping mid-mass like nothing. But yeah, and then the real Jersey Devil comes out of nowhere and gets all up in her face.
And it got real weird. Like,
it did,
I didn't think it was gonna get much weirder, and then it did. Because she did
I was like, we're going back to this. But then, when she's touching his face, I was like, oh, shit, he's going to kidnap her too. I was like, knowing her luck, she's going to get kidnapped now by the real Jersey.
I thought they were going to make out.
Yeah, I thought he was going to take her back and breed her. But, I mean, that's what I essentially thought to begin with. I was like, all right, the Jersey Devil's real in this. It's going to be like some, and I thought too there was more than one, which come to find out one was Eric and the other was the real one. And I was like, there's just all these, like, there's actually 13 of them, and they're all just gangbanging her every night. Like, she's going to have all these kids and stuff. That was in my mind.
That would make sense.
I don't know.
That would follow the urban legend that it all started with, what, like 100 years ago?
12 kids, and the 13th was ugly as shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So they tossed it out the window.
Yeah.
And then it became that. Maybe don't toss your babies out the window.
Yeah, the one baby. And it's ironic too. It's the 13th episode, and we're talking about Jersey Devil, 13th child.
Didn't even plan it that way.
Yeah, you should lie and say you did.
Yeah, right. I'm not that good. This was terrible. This was so bad.
It was terrible.
I either needed them to stick with the pretend Jersey, like the Family Feud pretending to be Jersey Devil. Cool. There's actually a real Jersey Devil. Okay, fine.
But no, they wanted to. We don't know which until the very end. And then that's not even the ending, because the real Jersey Devil runs off, doesn't fucking kill her. So apparently the Jersey Devil is actually just an ugly thing that is really nice and doesn't kill people. It's Eric and the hillbillies that kill people.
They run off together. The redhead goes with him at the end.
Oh, yeah. Because to the ending, the cousin's walking down, I don't know, some road.
A road of some sort.
Egypt, yeah. And she's like, something about he'll take your soul. Jersey Devil's real.
Oh, yeah.
And a cop who has the waitress that they talked to begin with, because he decides like it's really good to bring, someone that called the police with her, like with him out to where they're at. Yeah, that's just. Can you imagine, like, if you called the cops, they took you on the ride with them to where they were going or what they were doing?
Yeah, let's go check this out together.
Like, oh, you called it in on your neighbor? All right, let's go over here together. They're like, get in the car. She's all losing it. Then she gets in the back, and he gets on there, and he's talking on his radio. And then she's like, hey, and turns around, and she's gone. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, the waitress gets all slashed up because the cop is the cop. It's like Jersey Devil in the cop outfit. And he like slices her up, and then it shows the cousin, the redhead, up in the woods staring down at the car, and the Jersey Devil's just off in the back, like, come on.
And then they walk off together.
Like, what happened to the short-haired girl, Sarah?
That's one of the many questions at the end of this. Like,
I have a feeling they all died except for Sarah, and she's just in a coma having a really bad dream.
That, I would have accepted that. I don't normally like that.
They were trying to do the dream thing with it too.
Yeah, they kept showing her sleeping on the floor.
Yeah, get in bed.
Actually, because they showed that same scene twice. Once before when you find out she's already in college, but it's the same room. They show it again in the hoarder house, the really clean one.
Yeah, before she got knocked out.
Doing the same thing.
And everybody's
maybe she actually lives there or something. I don't even fucking know. Now I'm gonna have to watch it again.
Reed's point. What's the point?
I don't. Oh God.
I wrote down. Basically, my description of this movie is a cat turd wrapped up in dog shit, covered in burnt Yeti hair, left under a car seat on a hot summer day.
So I'm gonna guess it's a 5 out of 5 for you.
Let's say 4.
That's what I put. Yeah, you gotta have room for things to be so much worse. 4 out of 5.
So I've seen worse. So yeah.
You have seen worse than this one.
Yes.
Tell me. I need to know.
Jeepers Creepers Reborn.
Ooh, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, you're gonna hate yourself. Actually, you deserve it because you put me through it.
I can't. I promise Chuck I would not watch any Jeepers Creepers.
In this Jeepers Creepers, because it's the newer one, it has CGI in it that's so fucking terrible. It's like kind of like damn it, what's that? Spawn bat.
Oh, I like Spawn.
I mean, I like Spawn too. I like that fat little clown fucker. Like, runs around with his ass crack out. But, yeah, this is bad, and they change up the story of the like what he is, and it's really bad. So you should definitely, whoever you're having on next, just fucking throw that out.
I can't do it again. I can only torture one person per movie.
No, I'm talking about Jeepers Creepers Reborn. Just keep that in the back of your mind. Maybe when you
I'll
get
add
somebody
that on the list.
Maybe when you get that one person that's like, "Oh, I'll jump on," and you're like, "Shit, no, all right, just give it to him."
I'll give him the worst I got.
I mean, it's. I saw it years ago.
5 out of 5.
Huh?
I said the only 5 out of 5 we've had was The Orange Man.
The Orange Man.
Yeah, that I watched with Carrietta, and don't do it. But
I don't take a lot of.
It's supposed to be an orange serial killer, like with oranges, and has nothing to do with oranges. But you look like I sold it.
That's terrible.
Are you ready for questions?
I guess.
All right. What is your favorite shitty movie?
Favorite shitty movie? There's a lot of them because I love B horror films and I look for really bad ones. Sometimes the bad ones are actually really good.
Except for all the ones I pick.
I mean, yeah. So far, I mean, this is just my first recommendation from you. I would probably say people think there's people that are like, oh man, that movie's terrible. But to me, it's a huge one that's influenced me. I'm a huge Kevin S. Tenney fan. Night of the Demons, 1980.
Oh, I like that one.
Yes. But there's people that hate it.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think it's a masterpiece. I love it.
I think it's really fun to watch.
Witch Trap, Witchboard, all his stuff's really good. I actually have characters in like my first 4 books that I put out named after characters from his films and stuff, and like I have a huge I have
little Easter eggs.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
What is the worst movie you've ever seen?
Jeepers Creepers Reborn. Jeepers Creepers Reborn.
Okay.
The worst. Absolutely.
Okay. I kind of got to see what it's about now. Okay, what about not a horror movie? That you
not a horror movie?
Yeah.
Damn.
I threw you a curveball.
Yeah, you did. I'm trying to think about what movie I hated. I didn't like The Babadook, but that's horror.
No, that one I didn't like either. That kid drove me fucking nuts.
Yeah.
In that movie. Like, I don't want to hit children, but I wanted to hit that child.
What is... See, I don't know. Because I do watch a lot of horror. I have watched non-horror, but I'm trying to think.
I hate The Notebook. I've seen 5 minutes of it, and I had to shut that piece of shit off. I think it might be Ryan Gosling kind of freaks me out if he's not doing something weird.
You just don't like Ryan Gosling sexy.
I would not ever refer to him that way. He is like a lumpy potato man. He's weird, and he looks at you. He's got weird eyes. Anyway.
He was in... I mean, he's a Disney kid. He was probably... he's weird. So... I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
I'll take your other 2. The Babadook and the Jeepers Creepers one.
Yeah.
Newest Jeepers Creepers. What kind of horror genre is your favorite?
What kind of horror genre is my favorite? I'm a big Clive Barker fan. I like all the Hellraisers. So body horror, erotic horror, extreme type stuff. Texas Chainsaw Massacres. I love all of them. Like 3, everybody, or The Next Generation. A lot of people hate it. It is kind of, but all around, I love all of them. They're all my favorites. So I think that's just different writers and directors involved. Everybody has their different approach. You can't go wrong with Leatherface.
Yeah. Yeah, really. what is your favorite way to get horror? Do you like movies? Do you like books, audiobooks?
Movies and books.
Snorting it?
Snorting it? So what you said?
Yeah.
Snorting the pixie and stuff. Books and movies. I grew up with a bunch of VHS tapes full of just horror films, and that's kind of like
I do miss tapes. I wish you wouldn't have gotten rid of the VCRs.
I know. I wish there's still movies to this day that I wish I wish I remembered more to them. I always remember bits and pieces, like at least the title, because I'm still to this day looking for some of them that I watched. Like, and they're like real messed up scenes that I remember. Like one's like a brother and sister that are like having sex and their kids around, and then one of them kills somebody with a screwdriver. I don't remember that. And they're up in like a lighthouse or something.
Oh.
Yeah. It's old. It's 80s, older maybe.
I was gonna say that could have been any of the like the BC Anders remakes, any of those.
Yeah.
But that's not. I don't imagine you would have been watching that as a kid, or maybe you would have. I don't know.
Yeah, I watched a lot that I probably shouldn't have. Remember, I made my older brother watch Friday the 13th, Jason Goes to Manhattan, and he slept with a bat for like 2 weeks. Still make fun of him about it.
Is that the one where they're on like a cruise boat at the end?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yep. I watched that one when I was really young. I think I watched it before I saw any of the other ones. So it didn't make a lot of sense.
I watched them out. I mean, you always start them out of order. I think my first Friday the 13th was 3, which is like one of the best ones. And then 2, I watched them out of order.
As you should. What are you working on right now? What do you got coming out? What's available?
What's available? I have 6 books of my own and 1 book I co-written with Keisto Healy, The Devil's Treasure. I have Those Who Live in Darkness, Soulless Lonesome, The Devil's Right, Banshee Graveyard, Full Nasty 1, the beginning, and Full Nasty 2, Gothic Lot Lizard, all available on Amazon. And
I love that cover, by the way. That cover is like the Lot Lizard one. That one is.
That's the very first book cover I ever made.
That is magical. I would get a poster of that if my husband let me put it on the wall. That is.
I have people they want that, and then I've been now like My Seventh Death comes out the 24th, so in a couple days. It's my wife and I's 5-year anniversary, so I dedicated a thriller, psychological, kind of extreme love triangle story. And it says, "To my wife, happy anniversary."
How sweet.
Yeah, very thoughtful. I have that, and then I've been talking about it, but I've never told anybody the name of it, except for like close writer friends. But I have Cabin Black, and I plan on releasing that September 7th. That'll be my 3-year sober anniversary. So,
wow. Good job. Awesome.
Thank you. That's like Hellraiser meets Evil Dead, kind of cabin fever type stuff. And that
sounds awesome.
But it's got art. It's got like an art element to it, like a guy that's like a Lester Crawley, but he's an artist, and he's like this one guy just idolizes him because he wants to be an artist like him. So some rich kid, and it pulls off a lot of old school tropes of horror films, and I basically am like, I want you to like be in it, like you're like, oh my god, like you. It's like Hellraiser with Evil Dead and all that. Like, I love it whenever you read something and it's a movie in your head.
Yeah,
Full Nasty 3 is coming out in October.
So you have like one every 3 weeks at this point.
Yeah. This year, I published my first book February 7th. Before that,
of this year?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You already have so many out.
I don't know. I have more books that are finished. They're just not ready. And I have notes that I haven't finished. I have 100 like short stories. Like,
wow.
I have so much. I've been doing writing since I was in 4th grade, and I took like a 10-year hiatus like in my 20s because I was drinking so much. And when I checked myself into treatment and got sober, the first thing I did was start writing again. So it's like, in a way, I don't go to AA. I don't do any of that. I just write. I write every day, minimum an hour. So.
Do you handwrite or you do it on the computer?
I do it both. I type it, handwrite it. I just do it any way I can. I'm always writing stuff. Yeah.
So is all this going to be available on Amazon or
Amazon.
is it?
I have a website, danschraderhorror.com. You can get on there, and I have links to Amazon, and I have a blog I do a couple times a month and just put some bullshit on there. But
okay. Do you want to just send me the site that has all of that, and I'll link it in the show notes then?
Yeah, because I have that. My Goodreads is on there. Mostly I'm trying the TikTok thing, but it just doesn't. I don't think it likes me. I don't think it likes a lot of people.
It is not my favorite.
No.
I've seen people have success on it, and I'm not sure what the difference is because it's not like the content is much different.
I have more success with it when people cover my stuff and they tag me in it.
Yeah, right.
I'm over 100 followers now, but like before that, I was like 20, and I've gained all that just from people when people started TikTok reviewing my books. And
that's cool, though.
Yeah,
that's a more natural way to get going in there. I mean, which doesn't mean anything now, but maybe by the end of the year.
Well, I think it's like my Facebook page that I have. It's like 370 or 80 followers, but like some people have a lot. They garner, get that over time. And I mean, I didn't take out ads. Some people are like, man, I took out an ad and I got like all these followers. And I'm like, well, I haven't done ads because I kind of look at it like if I get all these followers from ads, then like when I put stuff out, are they going to actually like, does it mean something?
Go buy it.
Yeah. I mean, you might hit or miss with some of them, but a lot of times people just click it. And, like all the people I've gotten on there is just from, I busted my ass for like the first 7 months of this year. I was posting and looking up stuff, how to do stuff, and it's
authentic, uphill.
Yeah, and it's finally to the point now I can actually I don't have to post every day and stuff like that, which is nice, and people read my stuff. So
I would say that's the worst part of being an author of like a small, if you're not signing with one of the big fives, is having to do so much endless, like social media, props to people constantly, and just constant promotion on every avenue available.
Sometimes, I mean, I try and share people's stuff as well, because I like to have my page filled with stuff plus stuff I'd like to read or my friends' stuff. But I can't share everybody's stuff all the time. I try. There's days where I just don't even get on social media. Like before I even got into any of this, I never got on Facebook. I had one because my wife made me a new one, and she tagged me and stuff all the time, and I never put anything but maybe happy birthday to somebody once in a while. And so I went from that to learning all from scratch, like everything, how to do stuff. I'm still learning. She showed me stuff.
That's what wives are for, showing you the social media.
Yeah, I've only you're signed with Unveiling Nightmares, right? That's what I thought. For one, yeah, I got one with them. I had two, but I ended up, the contract was out, and I took them back because it was easier for me to handle it. But I was the first person to get signed on them.
Were you? That's cool. You should get a little badge of honor.
No, you tell Crystal that. Been telling her forever. Need a title.
I'll tell her. She won't listen to me, but I'll tell her.
Yeah, she don't listen to nobody. But
so are you self-publishing all the rest of your releases now?
Yeah, I've been self-publishing. I've been trying to learn everything I can. That's why I started making my own covers and stuff. And I still will use I have some backups like Christie's. I have 4 or 5 that I got off her on the Eclipse sale earlier this year because I love her work. But she's pretty much the only other person I've used besides Matt Wildison. He's an author. He's a really good author. He writes really good books. definitely somebody should be mentioned more. He's a really good guy. He's actually the first person in the community I talked to last year after my daughter was born. He helped me kind of navigate and tell me like, yeah, cast that net, buddy. You know, do that and this. And wouldn't be where I am without it. Like his advice. So I track a lot of my my success with how old my daughter is, and she just turned 15 days ago. So I mean, like it was around this time I was like, I'm going to publish. I'm going to take the leap, and started talking to him. That was a year ago. So
that is a crazy amount of progress for not even a full 1 year if you're counting your full daughter's age. But
yeah,
I mean,
my first publish. Yeah, I'm like one of those people. It was like with my drinking. Like if I'm going to do it, I'm doing it. You know what I mean? Like every time I drank, it was to get blackout drunk and just drink several days in a row. I'd go.
I'm sorry. I'm not laughing. I'm commiserating. Like I understand.
Yeah. So I'm like, well, I just go all in. That's how I am.
All or nothing.
Yeah.
So you've got, you'll have to give me I have to find the 3 titles you just mentioned, because I want to make sure I link those specifically. And people can find your work on Amazon and the Unveiling Nightmares website. Is it still up there? The one you have with them?
Yeah, I have one with Keisto.
Okay. Yeah, I think I looked at that cover. You guys have some cool stuff coming out. I'm so excited. I'm never going to be done reading, ever. If you add every author's really awesome piece of work and you're all putting out one a month at this point, I'm screwed.
It's crazy because Books of Hoarder announced Short Smack, and I put full mask to it. But then you look at it, and there's like 500 comments, and you're like, all right, half of those have to be authors. There's so many.
Oh yeah.
There's some.
I would hate to have to be the one to read through all that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Honestly, my hat goes off to people that have these Facebook groups that do stuff like that. I'm admin in Splatter Society with Stuart Bray, Asher Dark, Jason Nickey, Nick Scarborough, and all them. It's kind of like we kind of have that little group, but I don't think we might have something fun planned, but it's not one of those groups like self promote all of our stuff, because you know how hard it is to self promote. Like a lot of places don't want you to do it, or they want you to share, and then then you can, and it's. I'm like, man, I don't have time for that. Like, you get the weekly shares, but
I lost my spot. So last question: what have you read or watched over the last week that is not shitty?
What I've read over the last week, I would probably say what I've read over the last week that's not shitty is probably, it's not, because I get a lot of free, I get a lot of early release, type stuff from people. Something by Stuart Bray. I'm not going to say anything. I can't say anything else, but it's good.
Oh.
And
okay.
Before that, it's out now. Matthew Vaughn's Cattle Drive, his Bowery, like a little thing with his newsletter that you get for free. He wrote like a little short, that's actually really good.
That's fun.
And then Asher Dark, her stuff's already out. She just got, today was the Splatter Park Shotguns and Beer Cans. And then
I'm excited to read that one.
Yeah, and then her and Carrietta had that was that, and then her and Keith. She's had 2 in the last 2 days or something. She's going crazy.
You guys are machines.
And then the Titty Tater Baby Gravy. I've read some of that.
Every time I read that, it makes me laugh, that title.
Yeah, whenever I actually read like the first 3 chapters when she started writing it. It's actually really funny. I'm gonna read the whole thing. But movies, I don't know. That's the thing, is I've not had time to watch so many movies. Like honestly, like Reed's Point was the first time I actually took time out of my schedule to like sit down and watch a movie. A lot of times I just put the TV on when I'm in bed. No, it's fine. There's a lot of, I want to go see Longlegs. I want to see The New Strangers. I want to see Alien Romulus, because I'm a huge Aliens fan.
Oh, I'm so excited to go see that. Did you see all the crap they're putting out at the theaters to like go along with the Alien Romulus?
Yeah, the popcorn. I wanted to get I'm a Dune fan as well, and I wanted to get the Dune popcorn bucket. I'm not really a Star Wars fan. Dune's the original. It's the OG. I'll fight you on that.
Movie or book?
Talking about just the concept. Star Wars has several things that they stole from Dune. The idea.
Sure. But that book was a little long-winded.
Yeah, if it wasn't as long-winded, it probably would have had more success sooner than now.
Probably.
But no, Star Wars isn't bad. Star Trek sucks.
You're the second person in a row who said that.
Who's the person? Chuck Nasty?
Cassandra. No, Chuck was very angry about Jeepers Creepers.
Oh, yeah.
That was his mission in life, was to make sure nobody watches any of those.
You watch the films. Yeah.
No, Cassandra is the one who said she also does not like Star Trek. I love all of them because I love sci-fi. So and I watch crappy stuff, as you can tell.
Well, what about X-Files? That's my favorite.
Love X-Files too.
X-Files is so good.
It is amazing.
That and Firefly.
I actually have not seen Firefly except for the movie Out of Context. I watched that without having seen the show.
Yeah, I mean, you can watch Serenity without seeing the show. The show's only 2 seasons. It's good.
I think that's why I haven't watched it yet, because I hate when I get really invested in a show and then they just clip it off.
See, I'm more of like, this show was canceled and there's like 2-3 seasons. I'm like, sign me up. Those are like my favorites. I don't have to commit to a long, like Game of Thrones. Once the mountain.
Too long?
Or no, once the dog, who's the brother, not the mountain.
The Hound?
The Hound. Once he fell down the mountain and died or something, I was like, I'm done. And I don't know if he lived. But I was like, fuck this, I'm done. Because I was invested in him.
He did live.
He did? All right. Well,
yeah. To be fair, though, the show was like, did not follow the books. And now it's all fucked up on both sides for everybody. So.
Yeah. I think my favorite George R.R. Martin story is probably Sand Kings.
Is that the one where they're all moles?
That's the one like where there's like these little crustaceans that live in these sand tanks, and they'll make sculptures of you, the owner, and worship you and stuff. It's an old story.
I haven't read that one.
I paid like $80 for the book that the short story came in. It was hard to find.
That's fun.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture of it.
All right. Well, thank you for being on episode 13 of this terrible piece of crap. And did you, though?
Yeah, I did. I had a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Next time we'll pick a better movie, maybe.
Yeah. I'll be back on for episode 33.
33? Is that the next? That's not the... It would be like 23.
Would it? Yeah, 23. Well,
whatever. The next spooky number. I'll look it up.
Well, 4 is Japan. In Japan, that's 13 for them. But we're past that.
I can't go backwards.
No. But 4 and 13 are my favorite numbers, so at least you got one right.
413 it is.
All right.
All right. Thank you for being on this episode. If anybody wants to drop recommendations for the next piece of crap that we watch, you can email me or find us on Instagram at SIMMFW Podcast. And please go out and watch shitty movies so that we can talk about them together.
Thank you.